For item 4, we've got Ellie to present this for us.
Yes, hello, Council. So we've received two very creative and unique business proposals for the occupation of part of the lakefront reserve. The current reserve management plan for that area restricts concession sites to the two existing and occupied ones to the down that end. And you will also recall earlier this year, Council consulted on whether to go out for expressions of interest on the occupation of the potential concession sites at the Water Treatment Plant viewing platform. And as a result of that consultation, Council decided not to go out for expressions of interest. So in the meantime, we have been receiving interest in these two business proposals. So Council need to decide today if they want to pursue those business proposals. If they do, it is recommended that Council consult on an amendment to the reserve management plan. And if they do not, it is recommended that all future applications are declined up until the new change of Council in June 2017. So I have a few points to add from the report. Firstly, the Taupo Mobility and Access Reference Group was consulted with on the proposal because, as you will have seen, the proposed site is on a disabled park. And the feedback we received from that group was that they did not support the relocation due to the cost to Council and the fact that the existing park works well as it is not in the flow path of traffic, and the side and rear loading from vans is very easy. The second point to add is that the submitter of the Empanada Bar proposal has added that her container can be self-sufficient in terms of power, water supply and waste, and that her concept can be developed to a mobile unit such as a food trailer if required. So I think it's important to add that the business proposals received are still in that raw concept phase. They're open to suggestions and restrictions, potential shift in location. And so I'd like to hand it over to Angela Nguyen with permission of the Chair, just to give a brief overview of her proposal.
Yes, I have agreed to allow 2 minutes speaking.
Okay.
The other applicant can't make it, unfortunately. So certainly, please come forward, and I'll give you the right of you got some further documents to hand out?
Yes, I've got 4 copies of what was in the report as an attachment, but also an additional photograph showing an alternative location. So I'll hand these out while Angela.
Okay, thank you. Just speak into the mic, Angela.
Good afternoon, councillors. Can you hear me? My name's Angela Nguyen. I've been a proud resident of Taupo for the last 25 years. Just a brief background, I've owned and managed the Tandy's music stores, and now is the current trading My Music store as well. I own Tank Taupo over the last 10 years, which is a well-known brand with about 20 stores throughout the North Island and still expanding. It's got a huge profile, and I'm sure you've probably all tried Tank and enjoyed it. More recently, over the last 15 years, I've been a real estate consultant for the successful Harcourts company. So I believe I have good skills in successful retail, marketing, managing staff, working with people and seeing opportunities, which comes to my reason for being here today. I drive along the lakefront several times, have kept thinking, wouldn't it be ideal to secure a site along here? Never tire of the view, and as we all agree after travelling overseas, we live in a very special place. So I'd like to propose to the Council that I be able to operate a juice smoothie mobile site. I know this would be a popular asset to the lakefront and would be no opposition to the existing lakefront operators. My chosen position would be across the road from the Council building, so you can keep an eye on me, and adjacent to the water treatment platform. I have 2 proposed positions that I would like to present to the Council. As we're now entering the warmer summer months and longer days, more and more people are exercising and enjoying the outdoors. I believe the product would be very well received from walkers, runners, mums with buggies, kids on bikes, elderly having a stroll. What would be nicer than enjoying a fresh juice, smoothie or a tasty mini wrap? I don't need to sell a product, it sells itself. And with huge public awareness of the health benefits, it would be a popular site. I don't believe there would be any opposition or resistance to having this type of business operating. It is clean, fresh, and complements the surrounding vista of Lake Taupo. The mobile trailer would be modern and bright and a good look, and obviously conform to the council requirements. I would also place some colourful mini table and chair settings close by so people could sit and relax and enjoy the view. The period I would like to have our mobile business operating is from December to Easter annually. Thank you for considering my proposal, and I look forward to your positive response. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, just one more point to add. I forgot to mention that in that second option for the recommended resolution of agreeing to amend the reserve management plan, because of the sheer amount of expressions of interest we received, I think it would be fair to call out for tender if you do want to pursue that concession site.
Through the Chair, what were you saying in the resolution to be added or taken out? What?
No, I was just speaking to the resolution that's there.
Suggesting that we go back out.
So there's two recommended resolutions. The first one's to continue the status quo and to decline all applications up until the new change of council. The second recommended resolution is to agree to amend the management plan in principle, subject to the outcome of public consultation, and then to call for tender for the occupation of that new concession site.
Thank you.
Any questions, councillors? Councillor Burnham.
Thank you. In the resolution, it's just talking about the locations as identified in the officer's report. Are there any further or more potential locations that could be used for in future?
There are possible locations. There's obviously the sites on either side of the water treatment plant, which was looked at earlier this year by council. I think Angela's identified a potential site on the grass area to the left of the car park. We haven't had a chance to fully look at the impacts of that location, but yeah, there could possibly be other locations there as well.
And just further on that, when we originally talked about sites that are further down there as well, did we have any maximum number in mind at that time?
From my background, we certainly limited those sites to 2 for
5, I thought.
Well, yeah, but some of them are recreational.
Yes.
But 2 of them was food outlets. 1 ice cream, 1 coffee. And so many recreational sites.
Mr. Chairman, the fact that you would need to do an amendment to the reserve management plan shows that this wasn't foreseen as part of that planning process.
So currently the proposals are that the 2 sites or the 2 licensees would be close to each other?
That's your decision, councillor.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
I'd like to know which is the way, excuse me, through you, Mr. Chairman, which way do we handle this? Because if we have to go back for consultation for something to do with the reserve management plan? So why are we discussing this now until we've gone to see whether that plan, the community want us to alter that plan?
What we're asking you through, Mr. Chairman, is whether or not you wish to go and do that. So your options are either to decline, say thank you very much for your interest, but the reserve management plan, which has been through a public process, doesn't provide for this. Or we agree in principle, which under the Act it has to agree in principle, and we'll go out and consult. You would only want to do that and put the ratepayer and the applicants to the expense if you were likely to approve it at the end, hence the agree in principle. So hence we've brought it to you for you to make that decision. The long-term element that Ella talked about is really, again, to give everybody some certainty, regardless or depending on what your decision is here today. If the decision is to decline, then we would want to portray that same decision-making to future applicants, because they come in from time to time, so that they aren't put in the same position of having to come in and present to you. Or else, if the decision is to go out and look at a reserve management plan change, the suggestion here is that you also tender the opportunity so that you can get all applications that you may get at this current time, so you can then assess those.
Gareth, could you just refresh my mind? I'm not quite sure what the process was. We did receive a number of submissions through the last annual plan regarding the water treatment sites, and we did make a decision at that particular time not to lease those. Was that?
You did. So you received, we went out specifically in the annual plan asking for feedback, and you got a variety of feedback. I think the majority of it was negative to having concession sites there. You as a council made a majority decision based on that not to lease those sites, but you also made it clear that if there was a specific application or proposal, then you would consider that on its merits. Hence, you've got this in front of you today.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
How long does it take to go back and do this reconsultation? Like if we said we like the idea, amend it, yeah.
To amend the reserve management plan, we would need to call for submissions for a period of 1 month. I believe that's the case, 1 month, and then present those submissions back to council to resolve or deliberate on those submissions and agree to make a final amendment. And then the next step would be whether you want to call for tenders or receive the business proposals today, or any decision.
Realistically, looking 2 or 3 months from today if you would have made the decision.
Yeah.
So through the chair. So you're currently under the current reserve management plan. There's potentially 3 sites. Is the coffee?
There's two food outlets.
Yeah.
And then some recreational sites, 7 or.
But potentially on the viewing platform.
No.
Not under the reserve management. The current could be.
No, because
the current reserve management plan does not provide for these activities.
And
hence
that's
you would
where
need to go.
they're asking to go.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. But
or anywhere on
the lakefront.
Lakefront reserve.
Yeah. Even the 2 sites that's proposed, that's not on the water treatment plant, we would still have to amend the reserve management plan. So, any further questions, councillors?
Through the chair, thank you. This is more of a comment. I think we just need, in whatever decision we make, to look at the bigger picture of what we want to do around this piece of lake. Remember, we have a reserve management plan. It was in 2008. If I read these notes here, we went back in 2011 to have a look at amending that and decided not to. We very clearly, I believe, got a signal in the annual plan that people didn't have an appetite for concession sites, which is a separate discussion, but on the water treatment plant. So I guess we've got to ask ourselves, do we want to further go back and consult to ask again if they want to change in 2014 or not? I think that's the big question. And I think we need to look at the bigger picture on this.
Well, there's 2 suggested resolutions, councillors.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I find it rather interesting that we have 2 concessions wanting to go where they wish to go on the lakefront. And yet only recently we made a decision based on feedback from the community. We made that decision. I'm just wondering how, unfortunately, our people that wish to do what they want to do have gone through the work that they've gone to, when if they've just been told no, it's not allowed because of, we wouldn't be sitting here today. So they've gone to a lot of work to put their submission forward. But
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The feedback has been provided to the applicants, but as I'm sure you'd appreciate, everybody has a right to come to you as their governance team for you to make their decision, and that's what this is.
Mr. Chairman, Angela, thank you for coming and presenting today. I probably a bit like Rosie in that I'd love to see business develop and enterprise. I encourage it. But based on what we've already discussed, I don't know if I can push it forward. Just my, unfortunately, based around what Councillor Body just said.
Through the Chair, just going back to that original, the annual plan when it went out to the consultation, that was to me that was specifically, I know I was trying to split years, that was specifically the viewing platform.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Not necessarily, to me, I didn't necessarily prohibit
Sessions
anywhere else here.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, thank you. Just a question, as Councillor Jolens indicated before, is looking at the big picture. Once we take possession of the road, which becomes a local road, are there any plans at the moment for use of that reserve other than what it is currently used for?
Your approved reserve management plan is your big picture.
Yeah.
So that has been done. That reserve management plan will need to be reviewed at some stage in the future, but not until 2018. They're about 10 years from the time it was adopted, unless there was a specific issue that you went out and consulted on.
So on that then, if one were to give, later on, having gone through the consultation process, if one were to give a permission to grant a licence, one could give it for a period of time only?
Yes, if you had been through the reserve management plan change, yes.
Thank you.
I tend to agree with John that I was not necessarily in favour of anything on the top of the water treatment plant, but I don't necessarily agree that we shouldn't have more flexibility in other areas. So, and I am in favour of business opportunities. So I would like to relook at that, even though I have a conflict with this, obviously these particular.
Through the Chair, just another spin, not necessarily preempting any decisions, but these two applicants are long-serving. I'm not saying it's any favouritism, it's got to go out to the right process, but long-standing businesses in town as other businesses as well, and we're obviously potentially stopping this, showing with initiative to go just with other businesses that would probably benefit the town.
And add flair to the.
Through the Chair, I completely support new businesses and people wanting to creative ideas. However, I'm also concerned that we have empty shop space in the CBD and businesses struggling as it is, and getting people attracted to that main area. So although I commend the applicants for all the work that they've done and the great ideas, I think both of them are fantastic. I just don't see this as the right place for them to be. Therefore, I'm quite happy to move the recommended resolution 1 and 2.
I'll second that.
Which one are we?
That's the first recommendation.
Yeah, but it's the recommended resolution.
There's two.
Number one and two.
Yeah, the first one.
The first one.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going to second that.
It's already been seconded.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. Well done.
Mr. Chairman,
Would you allow me to read the resolution? Well, you've all got it in front of you, so I need to read it.
just to make the comment, if we went for option 2, if you look at the disadvantages as outlined by staff, it says, seem to be inconsistent with recent council decisions to decline to call for expressions of interest for the commercial occupation of sites near the water treatment plant. Nothing to do with anything on the water treatment plant, near.
Yeah.
Well, it's been moved and seconded. Well, is there any more discussion first?
Yeah, we just said on it. It was on it.
Does anybody want to speak against it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I was probably in the training before that I was all for sites being there. That's why we put the power in, and I'm all for sites going there. So yeah, I'd like to see it because I just think it adds vibrancy when people going past. But I also take the point of you want that vibrancy in town as well, and you don't want to detract from that. So I can see the other side. But yeah, I'd probably be against it because I would like to see more along there.
Yeah, I will be against it as well. So these people are business, they already have businesses in town paying commercial rents, and they're just showing, a bit of initiative to do something else, that probably adds a bit of vibrancy along as well. So I'll be voting against it.
So effectively, Mr. Chairman, if we to take on option 2, we effectively have to go and amend the Lakeshore Reserve Management Plan of 2008. So effectively, the concession that's sitting before us now, and I'm talking about the juice one, not the second one, possibly would not be able to set up business till February,
3 months' time.
Which go through the 7
Any
weeks.
business.
So we're talking about maybe next year. Would that be correct? So effectively, we have to amend the management plan before we even have this discussion.
Yes, fair enough too.
But I think if you decide to amend the management plan, then I also agree that you advertise for tenders for the sites, for whatever sites you decide. At the moment we've got 2 applications, and unfortunately I did give speaking rights to the other applicant, but she's got a young family and she couldn't afford the time. So I think, in all fairness to these 2 applications, I would have liked the other applicant to at least talk to us for 2 minutes to give us an overview of her application. But it's been moved and seconded.
Can we move the other resolution as well?
I've got to put it to the meeting first. So is there a show of hands for the first resolution that's been moved and seconded? Those in favour?
Just to clarify, that's a decline to amend,
Yes.
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 It's fine.
Against?
I just need to make the point that Councillor Harvey said she would decline from voting. So sorry, sweetheart.
But I'm only decline.
No.
So this is a
You have
principle.
to be very careful.
Yeah, you need to be
Roseanne,
very careful,
But
Roseanne.
it's your decision.
Okay, fair enough. But
Your decision.
this is a principle, though, isn't it? Just to go
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So I still have to abstain.
It's your decision.
I don't
I
know.
can't advise you either way.
I don't know.
It's a tie, it's status quo.
So if I have to abstain, then it's.
It stays the same anyway.
Does it? Oh,
You can't
okay.
change it. It's 5-5.
Okay. Right.
So where are we now, Mr. Chairman?
Status quo.
Because we have a reserve management plan that we're going to abide by.
The resolution passes.
Yeah, because we have a reserve management plan.
Well, I voted against it, Mr. Chairman. I take on what Rosie said. It's an opportunity for two very good people wanting to set up business, so to speak, and therefore I believe we have to go back to the people, and that's the shame of it. So whether we can bring that, relook at that 2008 plan sooner than 2018, I'm not sure. That's in the hands of...
Well,
That's where I'll be sitting as well.
perhaps we need to talk about that in the long-term plan, Councillor Bobby.
Yeah.
Certainly will do, Mr. Chairman, in terms of your policy.
Policy, yeah.
But I would caution you that it's a huge process. Expensive process as well.
And we do have lots of other plans that we are
You'd have
going to review in the next
to a whole lot more money.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to note that Councillor Body and I did not agree on that one. That's the first.
It is the first, I think.
You didn't get my text?